Who knows?
Committee, people, fans.
South Carolina's not bad. Georgia beat them by 10, but now South Carolina's not world beaters either.
If the SEC wins the national championship, I'll be very surprised.
I'm going to go out on a limb.
You're going to say they don't?
I'm going to say if they do, it's LSU. But I don't know why, because of Neighbors and Daniels, I guess.
Well, Herb Street said Bama wins it.
Well, you watched Bama play yesterday. Do you think they're going to win the national championship? I mean, they got the defense too, maybe, but they got a lot of things to work out.
7-6, Ole Miss at the half.
That's when I thought Alabama probably had a chance, because from what I'd heard at that time, they were playing awful. Hale
and Burton. Hale wound up having a touchdown. Tell me about him.
Hale's going to end up being their stud. He's got to be.
By NFL prospects,
he's the best one. Speaking
with Bama standard, he is the only prospect for wide receiver by NFL prospects.
And
Let me say that again.
Mm-hmm.
The only one. There's nobody, other receivers that the NFLs are going, let's look at him again.
I like Bond, but I think there needs
Burton.
to be a
Burton's made good plays.
Burton and Hale, there needs to be the one that they're getting the ball to.
Yeah.
With Bond being the third one.
It's good. He's a good player. We're not saying you're bad.
And you still got, so let's go Bond or Corey Brooks. They're the third.
He didn't played.
No, he did block that punt. And maybe Kobe Prentice.
Yeah, I like him.
But I think I think Reese needs to maybe focus on, and you can, as an offense coordinator, you can focus on getting the ball into certain people's hands.
That's what he should do. I thought
Burton and Hale.
Those first coming out of the gate, and I told you, somebody has been watching the Matt and Todd show. Because you seen what happened the first play of the game. He motioned the tight end down, and what he do with him? Put him right on the end, just like this right here. Put him right on the end, motioned him down, and put him right on the end there to chip off some of these end pressure trying to get to Milroe.
Right. And it worked. He didn't. It worked in the second.
That's why I told him. So you got to bring motion, because that motion gives your quarterback an idea. Are they in man or are they in zone? It does. Not all the time, because when you have good schemers like Kirby and Nick and those guys, they can hide those blitzes and those man covers. Even when you run man, because you bring a guy in motion, they'll move a guy with him, and then he'll pedal out, and they'll bring a blitz from the other side.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
but I think there needs to be a concerted effort to get Hale and Burton the ball.
Absolutely. Dart throw for 244, 20 for 35, an interception. A timely bad interception for him. But, he did rush in for a touchdown there one time. Jenkins, 56 yards.
Struggling this year. I think there's a lot of focus on him. Once Alabama got adjusted, they were fine defensively.
Yep.
Absolutely fine defensively.
Yep. I mean, that's really the only time that's the only score they give up.
Now, they absolutely ripped him on that drive. And after that was just it.
Okay. It seemed to me that the guys just looked at each other and said, "Hey, look, man."
Oh, yeah. There was I went and looked box score. There was a 50-yard play on that drive. Dart went up the middle untouched for a touchdown.
Yeah, he walked in the end zone. He just walked in, took the football, just held it out.
In the first play, the 50 yards, and he ran 20 before anybody touched him. And they just got it fixed.
Just QB dive. He just stepped back, play, and took off with it.
But they got it fixed quick.
Arnold.
That won the game for them.
Yes, Arnold, Campbell, and Moore, huge part of that. Moore had a fantastic game. Kool-Aid, big smile on his face. He got Dart's not bad, okay? So
he's not at all.
Kool-Aid got burned a couple of times. He got caught looking in when he should have been out, or trying to get closer up to the sideline to pressing the guy. You got to press on those guys, man, to keep that. Don't let them get that range where they can get off the sideline and move across the field. Push them up against the sideline, make them try to make a play. And they got some playmakers too. Now, Ole Miss is not garbage.
No, they're not. They're not great, but they're not garbage.
No.
They're a pretty good team.
Wade and Watkins, they're good ball players.
Wade's very good.
Yeah, I think
that Bentley, that backup to Judkins is good.
He's like a Hale. You could compare Ole Miss and Bama's receivers, could you not? pretty comparable.
Yes, they're not.
Pretty good. Not
They're
up
good.
here.
They're not up here like Xavier Worthy
not,
and A.D. Mitchell.
They're not Michis or Devontae Smith or Julio Jones.
Bukas.
No. Or Burton from Missouri.
No. These guys are the best in the country.
They are.
Or Rice from USC. Jerry Rice's boy. He's getting
some looks. Yeah. He's kind of smaller than I thought he would. Mm-hmm. He needs to grow, but 6 for 13 on third downs for Bama. I thought it was okay. The play calling, though, was a little better. I liked the chippy motions, running the ball. The line's trying to get off their fat butts and get out there and get out of the buffets and start blocking.
The linemen seemed to, Jace.
They only had 6 flags. It's okay. Ole Miss had 8. Pretty close on penalties.
McClellan ran hard.
They had 20 first downs, 225 passing, 131 rushing for Bama. They held Ole Miss to 56 rushing.
Wow, that's good.
We're talking about Junkins. Dude, we watched him play. We were sitting in the stands. We watched Pike Road play. Mm-hmm. We watched him play down there at UAB when I went with, I guess it was with Allen and them.
Yes, it was.
Crane.
It was. I didn't go with you to that one.
Lane was sitting in the stands way down the end by himself there and watching him play. Bama takes care of business. Now, the problem that we have with Saban, you got to hold these people accountable. Mm-hmm. And it seems like that he did. But, when they win, he gets more aggravated and he wants to hold them that flame burning. But when they lose, he just kind of is like good old pawpaw and just give you a piece of candy and you just scut your knee, little buddy. Come here and me rub your head.
Yeah. I noticed that years ago. Yeah. He's over there, a madman foaming at the mouth, and they're up 38-13. And it's 14-14 in the fourth quarter, and he's killed as a cucumber.
Yep, or just calm. But up on Notre Dame in a title game, beat you nothing, and his quarterback and center are fighting.
And I know people say that's just how they are, but come on, guys.
They're just fired up. They're so pinched on particulars.
42-7.
And they're making sure everything's right, and they're going. But they were roommates. And,
of course, they did have another year too.
Yeah, but they were roommates, and you've had roommates at college, and you and Scott, or
they must have really got on each other's nerves a lot, probably.
Well,
loved each other, but probably needed some time apart.
Well, you're with these guys, man.
Yeah,
and when they get locked in, let me say something else about Bama, and we'll move on to some other stuff here for other game and next week. But lastly, it seems to me, just in being I've got an entire 6 hours of college psychology. I took 2 classes, so I'm certified.
Yeah.
I play one on this show, psychologist. I always overanalyze things. I'm a thinker. Mm-hmm. I really like to get down to the real whys of why things don't work. It's just how I am. It's a problem. Some people enjoy it about me and some people don't. This Alabama team seems to me that they need praise, because did you notice how when the kid gets through out of the game on the special teams, the other running back, you said his name last week,
Jam Miller,
he comes in and lights the dude up.
Yeah, they said it was
horse
head to head.
Crap call. Of course it was, because the runner lowered his head into him as he's tackling him. As he's taking himself into him to put his arms around like this. He put his head on his shoulder like he's supposed to, head on the ball. The Ole Miss guy puts his head down and makes it head to head.
Excuse me for 1 second. I've got to go get our picks.
Okay. That don't make no sense, because Jam shouldn't be thrown out of a game because of the running back dropping his head. If the running back don't drop his head, Jam hits him in the chest. Let's just be so I got to say that. But this team took off after that. The kid gets through out, and it brings a life and an energy to the team, Alabama. McClellan bust off like I think he had like a big 15 or 20-yard run, maybe on a first or second down. And Hale, of course, had some catches. But if they don't get something like that, if they don't get some type of big play or some type of notoriety or the interception, this team is so emotional. It really just feels like they're the kid in the room that's got like 4 or 5 brothers and they're the one kid that always needed approval from their dad. There's always a family. There's always a kid in the line of kids that needs approval. That needs approval from dad. Now, all the brothers and sisters may not be the same. So what I was saying, Dean, was this Bama team just seems like they need approval to get excited about the football game. Like they're just down. And when Jam busts that guy on special teams, the team sparks and they go nuts. They get an interception, boom, they're fired up, they're ready. But
they were fine after that.
Yeah, but if nothing like that happens, they can't get going.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that
they sound like a very emotional team. Very emotional.
I like the team. What I liked about them is they brought a little punch to it. They didn't, they ran hard. They hit harder. Did you not think they looked good on defense? You did.
Yeah,
I know.
Man, they was bringing the wood. Lawson, Turner, Moore. These guys were doing it good.
But I think they probably know. Could we go here with this?
No, we don't think so, Wayne. They ain't going.
Do they, like you said, the kid that is not as good as the others and he needs that approval? Do you think they know they're not as good as some of these old Alabama teams? Do you think they realize that?
They're not dumb. They have to, because they're on media, and you try to keep them off of it as much as possible, but they see it. I just I see it as that. They need a lot of approval. They don't realize what Julio and Mark Ingram and Greg McElroy and those guys, even all the way up through the Flukers and the Jalen's, that built what they have there.
Well, they don't have an identity yet, and I think they got more of one yesterday.
But I see a lot of even high school teams around areas and stuff. They don't have an identity. Like they don't really know who the boss, who's really in charge, and who's really keying in, who's really taking care of the ball, and who's the real leader.
I think McClellan is a good leader for Alabama. But like you said yesterday, we've played 4 games and we've just now figuring out that Hale's probably the best receiver, right?
Yes.
I mean, he's the superstar.
He is. Well, he's the one. He's the NFL prospect. Yes.
And I never have liked what Jermaine Burton did with leaving Georgia to go to Alabama. But I will give him credit. His play, his catch, probably turned the game around.
Yeah, and
he's done well at Alabama. He's done very well.
The targeting row that Wayne's talking about. Just stop throwing them out. Mark Welch just done with it. He come on comment on things. We're old guys and we've seen a lot of foot.
I don't agree with the throwing them out.
Stop throwing them out. That's my thing. Okay, call it. Do 15 yards. Stop throwing the kids out of a football game.
Well, you throw them out sometimes. You're even throwing them out when it's an accident. Well,
the running back's got to stop lowering his darn head. Why is there no punishment for him? Well, Jam hits him right in the chest with his head. His helmet was like over right here.
They said he led with the crown.
But he would have hit him in the chest. Where you're supposed to hit him. You're supposed to buckle up and hit him, put your head across the ball and put your arms around him.
He didn't hit him head to head.
Well, but when he put his head down, hit him right in the face.
Yeah, but I mean, that wasn't his goal.
No.
I'm going to crack this dude's head.
He's trying to put his face on the ball like he's been taught since he was 7. But idiot refs that have no clue, that just go out there running off the pouring diarrhea out of their mouth, throw a kid out of a game because the runner put his head down.
I wish they changed the rule.
Go in there and look at the film. There's exceptions. That's the Andy rule. You can bend it. You don't have to break it. But there's some exceptions. Why we got all these hot on our cameras? Why? To be able to review something. You're looking at it. They review every stinking target, and you're going to look at that and tell me you see the running back put his head down. You're still going to throw him out? You're throwing the defender out for the tailback putting his head down.
Throw him out.
He's not defenseless.
See, that rule was put in to keep people from cheap shots.
Yeah, from like BB at Buffalo Bills back in the 90s. Yes. Remember him coming across the middle and just getting elaborated. And put him in palsy. He's out there like this in a coma on the field. That's what it's stopping. A guy going for the ball over the middle field and guys coming in, flying in with their heads and trying to kill a guy. This guy's running the ball and he puts his head down into the defender. It's targeted on the running back.
And I've changed my mind. And I think the boys should be forgiven. It is football. But you throw this kid out and you don't throw that kid out for Colorado State last week because it wasn't targeting. It was a late hit.
The shoulder and the chest after the ball didn't hit the ground and bounced up in the air and went back on.
But that don't fall under the rules of being thrown out.
That's the Andy rule I need. look at it and say,
which I probably wouldn't have thrown him
you're
out
being
either.
a jerk. You're just being a jerk.
Yeah, go sit out keep him out for a series, coach.
Yeah, go sit out to the rest of the time.
I don't want to see him on the field, or I'm going to throw another flag.
The rest of the time y'all got the ball, he's not playing. Or rest time that he's on defense. He don't play defense no more this series. As long as Colorado has the ball, he's not out here.
And if I see him out there and he covers on a pass, I'm just going to throw a pass.
Or he's going out of the game. He's out of the game. Go take him out for the series, or we'll send him home.
Yeah, you can do stuff like that.
Christ, man.